Welcome everyone to Unsheathed Sword Reviews. I'm Vic.
And I'm John.
And today we're bringing you a first impressions video on the LK Chen German Saxon Rapier?
Saxony Rapier.
Saxony Rapier.
Yes.
Alright, so real quick, if you guys have watched one of our first impression videos before, you'll know this isn't going to be a full in-depth review. This will just be like a really quick first initial thoughts on the sword, a little bit of close-ups and some cutting footage. Real quick though, John, what is this?
So this is a rapier, technically, although maybe not. Depends who you ask.
Loaded question.
Right. Matt Easton does a really good breakdown on where this actually fits in the sort of typology of swords. And he makes some good points about it probably being a little bit too heavy and a little bit too cut-centric for a rapier. But for the sake of argument, we're going to call it a rapier in this video. And it is pretty fairly representative of some of the examples that can be found in, for example, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I believe that is where LK Chen got most of the inspiration for this piece.
Nice. So yeah, definitely a unique piece. And if you guys know anything about LK Chen, they're a Chinese sword manufacturer mostly, but recently they've been dabbling into some European swords, some Middle Eastern swords, and some like even a U.S. sword, some sabers and stuff.
Yeah, they have a cavalry saber, I think, right?
Yeah. So they have a number now of complex hilted swords. This was the first one, I believe.
Yeah, but then the other two rapier came out pretty shortly afterwards.
Yeah, I believe the Town Guard may or may not be a size sword.
Yeah.
Argue about that in the comments. So yeah, that came out after this, and now there's two more that came out after that. So now you have a nice little selection. And real quick about like rapier reproduction market. It's really like budget level, flimsy, not terribly good for the most part, or really, really high end.
Like
so
arms and armor, $1,500 or north of that, depending if you want customizations.
So a mid-range option, like a lot of LK Chen's sword offerings, it's really, really enticing, right? And this is a sword you've had your eye on for a long time.
Absolutely, yeah. I really have been waiting to get this for a long time, just for financial reasons. I've been trying to be financially responsible, but it's tough with this hobby, as I'm sure you all can relate to. And the thing that my first initial impressions are overwhelmingly positive. I think it's a really great looking sword. I'm sort of like, my brain doesn't compute the fact that it's at the price point that it's at. And I think by the time it got shipped to me, it was just a little bit over $600, everything included, including shipping. And it's worth noting that I did get it directly from LK Chen as well. And it is available through Kult of Athena, it comes out to about the same price. I think there might be about a $20 difference, but it gets here a lot quicker, which is nice. But I'm blown away by this thing. I can't believe how pretty it is for how cheap it is. I'm just blown away by the level of fit and finish. Because LK Chen, I expected good performance, which is what we've gotten in our limited tests. I expected it to be historically accurate, or at least within parameters for items found from that time. I didn't expect it to be this pretty. It's really, really pretty. Vic, what do you think?
Yeah, so complex hilt swords are some of the most stunning swords you can get. Like, I really, really think most of them are incredibly attractive. Me personally, the swept hilt style like this one has is the most attractive. So I agree with John. It is very, very pretty. We'll get more in detail, obviously, in the full review, but I have some issues with the fit and finish on some of the fittings and all that. Nothing deal breaker by any means, but some stuff just kind of offsets the pretty design to me. But John, you're right. The handling is insane. We haven't done a whole lot of testing. More will come. It's fun to try to figure out how to move it, because if you're used to medieval arming along swords like I am, or Chinese swords like John is, it's very, very different. And part of the fun that we just had moving it around was figuring out how to get it. And when you get it, you're like, oh, that's pretty amazing.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's just this little wrist flick of a cut, and it's like a laser beam cutting through things. It's kind of ridiculous, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, definitely unique. And like you said, like a really broad kind of example of a rapier. So probably the best suited for backyard cutting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's unique. It's really... I want to like figure out this mystery of a sword, if that makes sense. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And in terms of like quality, it's the quality of LK Chen, I think, so far. And it's really sharp, which I wish more manufacturers came with an edge this good, consistently good, that LK Chen swords do. So initial impressions, I really, really like it, and I'm blown away by most aspects of it.
Yeah, I completely agree with the edge that Vic's talking about. Not only does it have a great edge geometry, there's no secondary bevel at all on it, and it's just really, really functionally sharp, which is great. Which, I mean, if I'd gotten this from a secondary sharpening service and it was this sharp, I'd be thrilled with it.
Especially without a bevel, a secondary bevel added on it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's a great edge. It's a really, really great edge.
I think it's really, really intriguing, and I see why it's sold out in Kult of Athena in less than a day. So
yeah, for sure. I would say even just as an initial impression, it's worth owning.
I mean, yeah. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna say buy it, but I mean, we'll talk a lot more in the upcoming review. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And so thanks for watching. And first of all, if you're interested in learning more about this sword, we're gonna have a full review for it coming up pretty soon. And we also have some other exciting reviews coming up. So we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and just check out some of our other videos, see if maybe there's some other content that might interest you.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So do you have anything else, Vic?
No, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Peace.